It's so good to see you guys. Hope you're both doing well. Big congratulations on the movie here, because it's colorful and wacky and fun.
Thank you.
So you've both worked with Kris before. So what is it about him as an animated movie actors director that made you guys say, we got to get back to working with him on something new?
Well, I did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 with him. And that was my first big animated movie. And he just made it, it's weird because you don't know what's happening, and you always have to have someone explain to you the context of what's going on. I mean, it's like green screen times 1,000, where they're like, look, there's people here and there's a sky there and you're looking at this plane and it's just, it could get really, really confusing very, very quickly. And Kris does the most amazing time. He literally looks at you I felt like a 5-year-old listening to a story every time I went into the studio. He's like, and now, Terry, you see these people and they're coming and the candy is going all over. And you're like, just keep talking. And then you're right into what you need to do. And I knew that working with Kris, him being a writer, a director, a true creative, that it was, I had to do it again. And I can't be prouder of what we came up with.
I feel exactly the same way what Terry just said. I think there's also a great trust in Kris. He he's your main collaborator in the room when you are making these animated movies. And so to have someone he has the essence of the child who'd be watching it while you're making it. And so I feel he transmits that joy and the clarity of the story to you of what needs to come off. And it's just, I always looked forward to every single session we were going to have that I could spend time with him and take some of his infectious joy and personality for the project he's working on.
Jane, can you tell me about figuring out the right tone for your character with him? Because it can be a very fine line between satirical and making her come across as too mean. And the fact that you guys can still make mother and father very funny characters was very impressive to me. So what was the process like of nailing that?
Well, I think Kris and everyone involved was very sensitive to that, to sort of riding that fine line. I happen to be working opposite the genius Martin Short. So I sort of feel like I bowed to his lead through most of the recording sessions. And Kris was very good about knowing what were the moments we could sort of highlight to make them more humorous in their cartoony nature versus just being sort of neglectful parents.
It works really well. I think that was one of the most impressive parts of the film. But Terry, I've got to say that Melanoff was an easy favorite for me because my grandfather was a candy man. So whenever I see a character that taps into that industry, it always hits home. What was it like seeing him in his final version for the very first time? What was the biggest difference between what you read on the page and what he turned out to be?
Well, oh man. First of all, the animation is incredible. I actually was going to be an animator when I first got to Hollywood. I mean, I was an artist, the whole thing. I had my portfolio in at Disney and the whole deal. And then I ended up being an actor. So I have so much respect for what these guys do. And, to see Melanoff actually look like me, I was like, wait a minute, they really studied and saw how I act, my behavior, my whole thing. And, for me, it was just such a satisfying piece because, you do this voice, you hope it comes across, and I could not be happier. It's kind of like, I imagine me on my cheat day, like every day.
I think that sequel to this movie should be a live action sequel for Melanoff and Nanny, and you and Maya should just stay in the roles.
Oh, that sounds good. What's so great is that everyone on this cast are, it's people that I always wanted to work with Jane, with Martin Short. And, I worked with Maya. We did Idiocracy years ago. And it was just a pleasure to get back. And it's really, really, one thing I also want to talk about is just the tone of this movie, I think, is what the country needs right now, because it's not one of those, just happy-go-lucky. It's got a lot of serious themes that, usually would never be attempted in a kid's movie. And I thought, man, this is brave. This is really groundbreaking. And how it came out, I thought was just perfect for the tone of the country and what we're going through right now.
Thank you guys so much for your time today. I appreciate it. And again, congratulations on the movie. I think exactly what you said is true. And Netflix is just crushing it in the animation department for that reason right now. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoy your virtual junket.
Thank you, Perry.